Yo, what up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I just want to go through a quick recap of the watch list from this past Sunday, just to kind of track the progress and see where things have shaken out and see if we have to kind of restructure some of our plan. So let's just get started. The first one is SPX. You got the daily chart here. And SPX has been in a consolidation. And so either a big move down or a big move up was coming out of this kind of this inside resting bar here. So here's Monday's price action on Tuesday, right? And so there was a little bit of resistance that we broke out and formed kind of an island with a big green bar. So let's see where this kind of lands us. If you look over here, you can tell that there's a bunch of sellers sitting right in this area. This is actually a nice area of interest if you look just across the cursor. And so yeah, we'll see what tomorrow does. We're sitting currently at 4,002, so we're right above 4,000. So either we reject 4,000 hard tomorrow or buyers step in and defend it, right? So that's the level that we'll be watching for tomorrow. So let's just get started with the list. The first one that I have, and I have it by, I know I discussed it in a different order during last week's call, or a couple days ago call, but we're just going to do it from the downside plays to the upside plays. So the first one is DKS. On Sunday, DKS, on this day here, I guess I should just mark it. DKS was forming some, sort of a wedge, and I was looking for a downside on it. The falling wedge I did identify, but I was hoping for some pullback to some of these fib levels down here before we kind of, first tested this 50%, then maybe tested the entire move to strengthen the upside move, right? The more find some support down here by this 138 level just to fill all this volume gap here and get all the people who wanted to buy back here, get them in at this price down here and then go for the real move. But either way, DKS broke some levels to the upside, and there was a DKS call that we played earlier today. Let me actually look it up real quick. Let's see. And pretty much everything that I called during the last 2 days of trading, we discussed on this call, right? So you had your plan, and if you stuck to it and you executed and you had some discipline, then you were able to make some good profits. So DKS, I called out a 148 call at $2. I called it yesterday at 10 o'clock. So yesterday at 10 o'clock, we were, at some point we were kind of towards the middle of probably around here. Let's just go into the 30-minute. Let's just not speculate. Yeah, so yesterday, 15-minute, I must have called it at the break of this trend line here. It came back and retested, and this is last week, Thursday. Here we go. So I called it right at the beginning of the day, pretty much right at the top. And it pulled all the way back to our trend line, to our kind of support level here from this falling wedge, and then the next day it absolutely, it went where it needed to go. So right now it's kind of consolidating in this area. We have until Friday for the 148 calls, and we got in the money, so there's a nice spot to take profit this morning. Otherwise, I think you still have an opportunity, and even maybe if we can get another day trade out of it tomorrow, right? But if you're holding the call from yesterday, this is probably going to get to 150. 150 would be my target. By Friday, and it's tough. It takes a lot of discipline to hold something for a couple of days when you don't know what's going to happen in the market, what kind of news is going to come out. So anyone who's swing trading in this environment, you are, you're built different. Let's just say that. So we got a channel right here. So my expectation is for it to come and test sort of the top of the channel, maybe even break through the channel, hit that 150, because at that point it's magnetic, right? And it's not like we haven't been there before. Right, look at this area here at 150.30. This is the previous pivot. So we can go back to retest that pivot, right? And we have the same pivot back here. So test it just once more, and then from there kind of make a decision as to whether do we want to go and make new highs. And I think this might be near all-time high. Oh no, a lot of room to go. Actually, not that much room. Actually, let's look at the monthly real quick. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So we're trading right at the on top of the previous resistance. So again, I just wanted to pull back. This is the 1 month view. I just wanted to pull back to really find support in this area here where it kind of stopped the move. And for sellers to continue, buyers to continue to defend this area in order for this to then make the true move, right? And I mean, DKS has been just going insane, right? And the month really shows, it gives you a lot of perspective as to where things are. So it's always great to zoom out. So I see a continuation, but we'll see. If you hold on to it for the next few days, you might be rewarded with a nice gift. All right, so let's go to the next one, Moderna. And again, these are all downside plays. So Moderna formed an outside bar, a green bar. The next day it kind of formed an inside bar. So this looks like it might have some momentum to the upside. However, you see how I had this kind of target here. We never really closed above it. We did test it twice. On the second test, a bunch of sellers stepped in, so there's still a bunch of resistance sitting in this area. It's actually from, it looks like it's from way back here and probably even much further, right? Let's see how far this line goes. Let's see. Yep. There's some previous resistance at this level. I'm sure if we go way back, let's do the monthly. I'm just going to take this and see if I can. Just zoom that out, give us some perspective. All right, so this is a multi-monthly. This is for years, right? This is since 2020. We've been kind of hitting this level and finding some interest at this level. So if I were to throw a volume profile on this, let's just go ahead and throw a volume profile. You would see that there is a lot of interest in this area. Here we go, volume study. So yeah, you got your volume profile here. So you see most of the most elevated area volume. We're right at the middle of it, right? So we would have to get back above this 177 level on Moderna. If we can break this level that we're at now, if we can form a green bar and take out the previous high of this candle, then Moderna is on its way up. Otherwise, we did break down below the previous low. So my expectation is for this to continue to go down. But as of right now, it seems like we need either some heavy sell pressure here or some more time, right? One or the other. Next one is Dollar General. I believe I called Dollar General calls during the maybe it was, when was it? It was yesterday. The 215 calls at 135. And I called that at 11:44 a.m. So 11:44. Let's just go into a 30-minute real quick. Let's see. 11:44 Monday here. So 11:44 again. I must have caught the top on this. It must have been like right around here, right? And what I was looking for was a channel bounce. And we haven't fully recovered it yet, but let's see. One day. But we're sitting at support. There's a bunch of buyers that are sitting at this area. We formed an inside bar on Monday and we broke to the upside of it. Let's see. The high of this day was 211.85 and the high of yesterday was 211.78. So we broke the high. So the moment there's some interest to the upside. So we'll see if there's a continuation. The DG calls were they were called and they were $1.35 for the 215 calls. So I'm expecting that we can retrace back to this area here, back to the top of this and kind of form a new channel, right? To retest this previous support here and then maybe form a new channel. Next one's MRK. So same thing. It was a downside play. We had inside bar. We actually have almost a double inside bar on this. This candlestick broke the range of this candlestick to the downside. So not by much. And obviously sellers stepped in and brought it. Buyers stepped in and brought it back up. But this thing is just getting super tight. It's almost like, it looks like it's actually forming almost like a near-term diamond on a smaller time frame, right? You got this kind of bottom here, and then it's kind of, and then it's condensing. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, we're still waiting for that to break down. The real breakdown would be below the low of Friday at 103 to come and make it to our final target of 101. So that's nowhere nearby, right? There's a couple more days left possibly in that move. BYND kind of broke through the first target, broke through the entry and hit your target at the beginning of the day, but it wasn't a real play for it to really break down and retest this level here. So as you can see, there's a bunch of sell pressure sitting in this area. Price is currently above a volume profile right here, and there's clear skies. Just look at the volume profile here. Let me bring some more candlesticks and some more price history. So this is a nice area. Actually, this is pretty stacked, right? In terms of buying pressure for the year, there's none in this area. So unless buyers step in around this area, I don't think that this is going to last. I think we'll test this 1407 and then maybe 13 to this next little node that's here. We went through SPX. Let's see MicroStrategy. It gapped up above our entry and then it pulled all the way back to retrace halfway of this previous candle of Friday, and then we formed an inside bar today. So there's a nice move in this potentially tomorrow. All higher lows and lower high from yesterday, right? So some contraction there. And you see it's right sitting at the bottom of the right at the volume profile, so they can go either break through and come and test this area here at 290, or seller step in and it breaks down and comes back to this 246 to undo this candle here. So no action on this yet. And to be quite honest, I'm gonna have to spend some time with MicroStrategy in order for me to understand it. Next one's Apple. Apple went right according to plan. You know, we talked about the inverse head and shoulders here on the longer time frames. You see your on the left side, your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, and you know, so yesterday's candlestick. At yesterday's candlestick, we broke above the first line where some sellers were, right? You see some sell pressure on this day and this day. And remember, as discussed on the call the last time we were here, every time we hit this level, a bunch of sellers step in. And so we consolidated here on Friday, and then Monday buyers took control and got to the first level. And then today they're taking us all the way through, right? So we are at 159.28. So I think that we retest 160 first and then decide from there, because 160 is a psych number. So either we get stuck on 160 and kind of fall down, or we test it at some point. I definitely see us breaking it based on what's going on in the broad market. And then again, let me just chart this other level now that we're kind of in this zone. My target for this is 164.26. I'm going to hit this high right here. That's going to be that 160.54. So even like peek your head above that 160, it might not be enough, right? We got to clear that candlestick that I just highlighted here on the price of Tuesday September 13th. All right, so that's about 6 months ago. So clear the price of 6 months ago, we can get into the price of the day before that, right? And then from there, there's a nice bunch of little volume gaps, as you can see by the chart, how gappy and ugly it is right back here, back in August of last year, right? So pretty interesting area for Apple. You know, Apple kind of runs the market, but everything has to line up in order for Apple to make a move like it did today. So congratulations to anybody who took it. We played, I know there was some bot calls because the bot stays on Apple, but we played, where the hell is Apple? Let me search. I don't see it. I know there was an Apple play today. Coinbase, Google, Pinterest, Nvidia, Starbucks, Tesla. A lot of, here we go. Apple. Jay called an Apple. Oh no, wait. Where is it? Yeah, Jay called an Apple 160 call at 90 cents, and that was yesterday. So yeah, I mean that went insane, right? That must have gone. Let me see if I can find the recap for it. That was a monster trade. See if we can find it. I don't know where it is. I didn't see an update on it, but as you can tell by the chart, you know, we are much closer to 160 than we were yesterday. So monster trade by Jake. And then again, you know, these are the next two levels of interest, this 160.54 and the 164.26. Next one's LRCX. Right now, LRCX is in a little bit of price discovery. You know, it's sitting in this area where, you know, it was consolidated all of the past couple of weeks until last week on Friday when it broke out, and or Thursday when it broke out of all this consolidation but got bounced out of all this volume here and is now forming an area of new interest, right? So here we'll decide whether we're going to break up and, you know, break this 520.29, the high of this candlestick here, and can try to test some of these 530s and 540 levels, or break down and retest, you know, undo some of this move, right? That's where it's time for LRCX to make a decision. So we're kind of waiting on that. There's no clear setup on it right now. You want to see it favor one side over the other. The next one is Coinbase. Coinbase was an absolute monster. So yesterday, you know, the play was obviously let it continue this move here from this kind of spring breakdown, fake out into a big, massive move upside. And yesterday it formed a nice tight candle with, it came and tested right around 50% of the previous candlesticks, the median point. But we still closed above the open of Monday, which is Friday, which is very important, right? And then the next day we kind of tested some of this previous resistance here and straight line up. So I think Coinbase has a couple more days in it. We are in the 85 calls. We got in at $2.73. So we'll see how that goes. I think the high of this candlestick was 85.05. So we got in the money with that one. Let's see. The next one's Baidu. So Baidu made a nice move on Monday, but then with the rest of the market, it kind of pulled back. It undid 50% of its move after the breakout. So here's Friday's candle. Then it kind of broke through the first level, got into the range of this second candlestick here. Bunch of sellers stepped in. Today we formed an inside bar. So let's look for either a continuation or some sideways action along this channel right here. Next one's Macy's. I didn't see any play on Macy's, so as you could tell, like it's forming kind of a flag, but then it gapped up, broke down. It's just still going sideways, so there's nothing there yet. Amazon put in a nice, interesting day today, and if you caught it yesterday, then you are very very risky individual, and also an individual that has much foresight, because if you would have seen that it kind of formed a little bit of support where there was previous resistance right here, previous support right here at this doji. Here's another doji. And then there's your pivot right there, right? So big key level of interest here at 97.46, and buyers defended it and undid kind of some of the price of Friday and yesterday. We still are within we haven't hit our entry target yet for Amazon, which I have here at $100.98. So let's just call it 101. So we haven't triggered that 101 yet. I think the 101 will bring us into some of these larger levels, and especially this little this doji that I'm sitting right here on. I'm really excited about that one, but maybe that's a couple weeks out. But for now, no action on it as of yet. Lulu's just at the top of the channel, and it's rejecting the top of the channel, so maybe it has a nice little red bar to come and bring it back down to the bottom. Maybe just do that whole move in one day, right? We'll see. So nothing on Lulu yet. American Airlines, I don't see much on this yet. I mean, we're still within this kind of channel. If we find some support in this area, where it's currently trading at, and form kind of a shelf at this 1428 level, then we can continue to try to test these upside levels. For now, it looks like I don't know what they call these things. This looks like an abandoned baby, right? Or a falling hammer or something, or falling knife is more like what it looks like, right? So there's nothing on that right now. Pinterest gave us the breakout, right? Here's the play that ignited my interest was this igniting bar here with a kind of a resting indecisive doji where a bunch of sellers were kind of sitting out here. So we pulled down, but we didn't go down anywhere near 50% of this move, right? And then here's Monday's candlestick. So we saw the continuation. We still didn't get the breakout on it yet, but I did like it for some momentum. So we called. We got in the pins. 331.27 call. We got in at 83 cents. I really should have my TOS open so I can. I mean, some of these just went insane, right? Just checking. Okay, good. Choose that. Yeah, I mean, again, I want to keep this to 15 minutes, so I'll spare you. But anyway, we tested some new highs. We broke above this pivot. The next level for this to test, if you're holding the swing, which you should, because we have a couple of weeks on it, right? Is we have 10 days on it. So the next level is 27.98. Let's just test some of these previous highs and these previous levels, these previous pivots, right? Those are the next few levels. So I don't know if Pinterest can do it, if it's going to do it by Friday, but it might do it within the next couple of weeks, right? But you might get the most juice out of it in terms of like momentum by Friday, right? So maybe you want to take your profits by Friday. But anyway, I like the trajectory, so let's see if it can keep it going. Next one's Meta. I had it for an upside play. It was forming this kind of flag here. I did kind of want it to pull back to this 190 to do the same thing, to kind of test this previous resistance here as future support, but it didn't do it. So I got to wait for that setup. I want to wait for it to come back and test that level. So either way, we formed the hammer. You could have got risky and you could have made a nice swing overnight and made some money. Another kind of red hammer. Now I kind of want to see it build a base where it's at up here, right? I want to see these sellers stay active. And if we can, we're currently at the previous resistance of Friday's candle. So if you want to build a base there, that's fine with me too, right? Just to test some temporary new highs. Maybe we can test 206, 207, 208, right? Break out above this high and get back to, let's go on the weekly real quick. We haven't been here in a while, guys. This was back in May of 2022. So, so kind of step on some of these previous levels here, step on their heads, right? And see if we can kind of come up and test. I mean, at this point, with this much consolidation on the weekly, I think we can easily get that 225.50 pivot, that massive pivot on the weekly. So, maybe a couple more weeks will take us there. So maybe we can look at like 331 or maybe some April 230s will probably take us there. All right. So if you're interested in that, I'm actually going to write that one down because I think that's something that I want to keep my eye on. Meta. 421, 230 call. Note to self. All right, so the next one's XLF. XLF. The reason why I liked it for both upside and downside, right? And so we had this kind of support level that was sitting here, and we had this this kind of wedge forming with the resistance with the ceiling right there, right? So we had this massive red candle. So I'm like, all right, there's gonna be a continuation, which we had a continuation yesterday, and we opened up over here kind of at 31.76. We went up $1, and then we came down to about, what is this, 30.90. So pretty wicked price action. $2 move to the upside and downside. If you would have caught the downside at the tippy top here, you would have made some bank, right? But we kind of settled at the previous levels here, and I want to see it kind of test the bottom of this candle. Same plan, right? So we found support. We kind of bounced on it. Ultimately, I wanted to go down and test this level if it does want to go down, but this was a support. So maybe we can take the break of this 32.36. And take it to, see if we can test maybe this 33.72. So this is, again, just according to the plan. DocuSign, again, it was downside, upside, one or the other. And so this is Friday's candle here, this big red candle. Monday, we kind of found support as we planned, and it kind of bounced through all these levels. Now, this is tough. Actually, I'm on the weekly still. Let's look at the weekly. Let's go back to XLF on the daily, because I was on the weekly. So all right, so XLF, we got a nice move down. Here's your Friday candle. So we were looking for either support or resistance at this level. It just bounced, and now we formed kind of this is called an abandoned baby. So now we're here, and we have either some upside or some downside to retest with XLF. But there's a lot of volume that formed in this little candle right here. Let me see if it's kind of a key area. If you look over to the left, not really. I mean, there's some resistance there, but so nothing really has triggered on it yet, but you can take this. If this does break above this 32.34, it can really get going to 33 pretty quickly, because there's some momentum in this bounce, right? And especially with all the liquidity that just plugged into the market, this might just be like one of those days where people get their position early, and then they sell and they buy, and they kind of keep the price where they want it, so they could just load it before the real move, right? So that's what's at play here, because the banks got to play. They got play money now, so that's what that play here. And they're probably gonna, they're gonna bring their sector up because they want to impress their shareholders, right? So I expect a continuation to an upside on this. And again, if we can break above this level, we can easily get to 32.85, obviously 33, and then maybe this 33.72. I'm looking for a big bar, right? Something like this. So nothing on that yet. I'm actually going to set my alert to this level just in case we get that break in the morning. There we go. Add alert. Okay. Next one is Docu. Again, it can go either way, and it's actually closed where it. So it's pretty much in the same spot. You could have taken a nice put play down to about $1.50, or you could have taken a call play from today. Pretty much the open to about 58 on a $3 move. So. Not bad. It hasn't, for me, I have more favor to the upside, so that's why I have my alert set here. So I'm waiting for it to break through 59.72 to get to this 61.96, and then 63.31 is the next level. Starbucks. So I think we were in a Starbucks from last week, if I recall correctly, or maybe we just play Starbucks every fucking week. I don't know. But I definitely called the Starbucks, I think, on Monday. Let's see. Just looking it up. Maybe we should systematize this so it's much simpler. Jay went monster with that SPX play yesterday, man. Let's see, a couple of them. Okay, so Starbucks 100 call, $1.43, was called yesterday at 10:37 a.m. So here's your 15-minute chart. Yesterday at 10:37 was, again, the top. Everything was popping at that time. 10:37 was this candlestick right here. So we bought kind of here, price pulled back, found support at previous resistance, and then double tested it, and then continued to move up, right? And then we found some resistance at 101, and now we're finding some support at yesterday's resistance. So the wave continues, right? So I guess the next level that I'm targeting for this would be obviously 101 again, and then 102 will be the final level. But right now we're currently at the money with those calls. And we still have till Friday, so I want to see how long we can ride that wave for, right? 102 would be nice, and then the ultimate target for this, if it continues to kind of hold that uptrend, I just want to really give myself some perspective. The ultimate target would probably be above this 102.65. Let's go to that 103, and then ultimately we want to retest this pivot over here at 105.63. So we have a little bit of headroom on this. But again, we have to continue this higher low, higher high kind of trend that we're in. Next one is Costco. I don't know, man. There's so many plays. I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of system to keep tabs. All right, so again, Costco, I had it to the upside, and here's Friday's price. We kind of found resistance where we previously had resistance where a bunch of price likes to congregate. On yesterday's price action, we formed an almost inside bar where we broke the range to the upside, so that gives you added faith in the play. And then today we kind of opened up, we gapped up, pulled all the way back, found some support from yesterday's support, and then made a big red move, big green move, and then closed a little bit lower than we opened, but we still closed above the previous resistance, which is pretty important. So let's see if I can find Costco. Yeah, the last time we played Costco was last week. All right, so next one's AMD. AMD is doing the same thing that LRCX is doing. It's kind of, it's broken out, and now it's kind of discovering its price, seeing kind of where its boundaries are. So it's sitting and hovering right above that, right around that $95, $99 mark, right? So the range of this candlestick is 99.46 as a high and 93.64 as a low. So that's pretty much the range that it's discovering now. Between 99 and 93. So as you can see, we have a bunch of, there's a pivot over here, and there's some even more. Yeah, I mean, this thing goes way back to this price. It's tested at a bunch from top and bottom. So this is a key level for AMD. So if buyers can step in on the market, not only on tech, but on the entire market, I think tech will be a good beneficiary of some incoming interest in the market. So above 98.75, pretty much a close of above 98.75. So maybe tomorrow we'll get it. At that point, we can go up to like 104, 105. It'll give you a nice continuation. So no major action on that yet. I mean, if you were scalping it, then good on you. But I wasn't really into it. Google was a major one for us today. So Google, the plan was for it to break this level here at 103.14. It pulled back a little bit, but formed the green candlestick on Monday, and today it gave us the breakout that we wanted, and it hit our first target. And price currently closed above the first target. The next target that we have for this is 108.18. We called Google today at, where are we at? Let's see. I called Google at 10:45 this morning. Let's go into the 15-minute. So Google 103 call at $1.58, targeting 104.82, 108.18, cut underneath the 200-day moving average, which I will put on your screen now. Let's see. Go back to, I forgot where, into momentum. Yeah, okay. Moment. All right, there you go. So we got the 200, which is over here. These are not my colors. Anyway, I'm not gonna do it now. But what was it? Cut underneath the 200, which was this this line here at 101.66. And we had we broke out to a previous level of resistance. I'm not even, who knows. And then we kind of put in a nice green back, strong day with a little bit of a pullback, but then it retraced all the way back to the high. So let's look for a continuation to this 108.18. Nvidia, kind of the same thing as AMD and LRCX, just discovering its price at a new level where it hasn't been to in a while. I do have my alert set still for 263.94 is the alert, is the breakout level that I want. So we hovered at around Friday's price yesterday, and today we broke the range of yesterday's price, formed a doji, and kind of tapped that resistance level, but didn't quite break through yet. But the same play is still intact. We're looking for that breakout into the 272.54 and the 277 and 280 levels for Nvidia. Right, we're gonna go back to revisit those levels. So I don't see the play quite yet. Maybe we can get into something early for next week expiration. Domino's, I called Domino's yesterday just because I saw the potential for the inside bar breakout. It didn't quite shake out the way that I expected it to, but I think that we have we have a few days on it. So, and this is going to be one that will reward you if you hold on to it, right? Because nobody really trades it. As you can tell, there's not a lot of volume and open interest in it, but I saw some tight spreads on it yesterday, and so I think there's a continuation, but it really has to break where it's at now. And my original entry was triggered at 320.55. I got a little I was a little early to it, but once we can get above that level, I think we can test that 330 level very quickly. And that's it, guys. That's what I got. I wanted to keep it short as possible. Congratulations to you guys. You guys are trading, making some nice trades in here, man. I mean, and I'm really proud of everyone kind of having confidence in themselves and just taking whatever trades that they see, right? The setups that they see. So all in all, just to name them all, we got Baidu, DKS, Starbucks, Tesla, Etsy, SPX. Let's look at Tesla and Etsy real quick. I'm going to go above my 15-minute. All right, so here we go. There was a consolidation on Tesla. It continued into Monday, but then we broke out this morning. And let's see. Jake called Tesla yesterday at 11:18. The 190 call for 3.3. And then I think I called.
We had a 195
earlier.
We had a 195.
I'm still in the swing from last week. The 195 call that's expiring this Friday called on the 15th. It was 270 and it touched like 5 or something. There's a potential continuation, but it really needs to get above that 200 level. But that was a nice little play. Let's see what else we got. Let's look at Etsy real quick. And I think the next time I do this, I'll have a little bit better structure, guys. So bear with me. All right. So Etsy gave us a nice little breakout, and nice strong candle on Monday, and continuation of the move on Tuesday today, right? So we're looking for it to kind of break out above the high of this, which is 113.32. 113.30. All right, close enough. 113.34. So above that level, we can come and kind of butt into this support here and see if maybe find some resistance there, but that's still a $3 move. And then if we do find resistance there, we have a new level to kind of consolidate at. But if not, then we can go straight to this 118.74. There looks like there's some real momentum behind this sector, right? Etsy, Pinterest, Pinterest, same thing, kind of a nice pop. So something going on with that sector. Dollar General, we went over. CCJ, we haven't gone over. So CCJ, I hadn't had it on the list, but I saw some interesting flow on it, and I liked the setup on it, and I wanted to see where it was going to go. So CCJ, I bought plenty of time for us, and it's the April 21st. Let's see. Oh, thank you, DYT. I see the gift that you left for me. So we're gonna go quickly over. We're quickly gonna go over where we at. CCJ, FSLR, and then let's talk about Apple and let's talk about Baidu again real quick. So CCJ was for April 21st. The 26 called at 94 cents. It was called at 1:22 p.m. Let's go to the 15. So 122 is right around here. So I was looking for, there was kind of a triple tap going on with this level here. We tapped, and if you look all the way to the left on, it looks like Wednesday or Tuesday of last week, right where the crosshair is. So we came back, we tested the bottom of that level, and then we broke right through it at 10:45-ish. And then around 122, when I called it, it was right around here. So it was just testing some previous resistance and working its way up. So now we're, this is a 26 call, and we have until next month. And $26 is just right here. So we just have to continue this trend. I will give it 3 or 4 more days to get well into 26 and maybe even test this 26.59 level. I have my first target as 26.46. Next target as, I have my 26.59 here. And then the $27 mark and then $27.49 mark. So we have plenty of time on this. If we can get quickly into that $27.49 mark, then at that point we can maybe test this pivot here at 28.50. So let's see. Let's just, this is one that you got to kind of give it time. If you're in this play and you want to continue to hold it, but you're wondering what the levels you should consider selling through our, and here's one level, just in case. 2568, which is where the previous resistance was here for a potential head and shoulders, right? So I would watch for that. And then the next level would probably be 2630, where actually I can go all the way back to here. Here, right? You have that was the close of day for this day, open on this day, and retest the resistance on this day. And then the last time we came back to this level, it was support here, resistance here, and the close here, and then the high here. So that's going to be a very interesting level, that 2630. I expect it to maybe give us one or two strong candles, and then give us a nice doji on either side of this 2630. So we'll see what happens. Let's see, and then let's do FSLR. FSLR, beautiful flag breakout. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Let's go to the weekly. So this is another like clean supply and demand, right? Kind of. So there's a bunch of sell pressure here, bunch of interest here, right? It was a previous supply zone. It became a demand zone over here, and we had a nice breakout out of that. There's this new demand zone that's formed in this area, as you can tell by all the demand that brought it in on this 1 week's candlestick. So let's go to the daily. We have this very clean flag. It's actually kind of a falling wedge, which falling wedges are one of my favorite setups. They're just so cool to draw, right? So you have all this price kind of in this area, coiling down, but not falling below even this candle, right? We did break down below this candle, but all the buyers who kind of bought it on this day continue to buy here, right? The same mentality, right? And now, so we got that breakout. So we're forming a doji here. We want to make sure that we can clear above this candlestick, you know, and whenever I say clear, I usually mean like break and then sit on it as if it were like a bench or something, right? Just kind of like, you know, put your feet on it, put your butt on it, and test it as support. As long as it's support, then you can kind of from there work your way up and make some new levels to the upside. So I like it above that level, above 211.47. The next level that I would aim for would be here, this 215.30. Like I would love a close at or above this level. And then if we can get that close and buyers continue to step in, I think we can easily go up, you know, and I put 218 there just because I like to draw to the tops and bottoms, but I think the next level for this would be 220, right? 220 is what, if we can get a close at or above 215.31, then we can easily get to 220. And then above 220, it gets really wicked. Let's go to the monthly. Is this all-time high? No, this is an all-time high. Yeah, okay, I knew it. So let's see. This one's just made a monster move. So we're currently in the range of this previous candle, this doji right here on the month of June of 2009. And so right now we're finding support where the previous resistance was. So as long as we can kind of hold there, we break out above the highs, and then the next level that we would probably test would be, I would say, this area here, 237.15, and then above 237.15 we have 270. So there's a lot in store for FSLR. 237.15 looks like it's you know, we can probably get there in maybe a couple of months. Like if you were to buy like June calls or something right now, you probably would bank on this. Even if you want to look at like June 250s or something, those are probably going to be really attractive. I'm going to put that in the gold mine so that I can. I just want to see, you know, this is a Jake play, so you know he knows, he's the real guide as to where it can go. But I don't know the expiration for June, so I'm just going to put June 250s. Because I want to see how much open interest and how much volume those things get. But I think that in June we can reach 250. That's what I think there. So if you're interested in it, you think it can shake out that way, then you should take a look and see what it does. Yeah, all right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna go. I got a bunch of dad shit I got to do now to prepare for tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining this. I think I want to be more consistent and do this a couple times a week. You know, just try to hit it as quickly as possible. So appreciate you guys spending time with me. I'll see you guys later.